Hi, my name is Arden Compton. I just created a video that I call Accepting Where We Are on the Map. If you haven't watched that, go back and watch it because I'm going to continue discussing this principle in further detail. Looking at this principle of accepting where we are on the map, one of the main things that keeps people from accepting where they are on the map is forgiving the past. Now, what does forgiveness mean? This is my definition of forgiveness. To me, forgiveness means simply letting go of condemnation, letting go of condemning judgment, either towards ourselves or towards another person. And very often, when we're in a spot that we don't like on our map, life's unpleasant in some way, or there's something in our situation that is, that we don't want there for whatever reason it may be, we look back at what led us there. And as I mentioned in the other video, there's often resentment. Resentment is a very limiting, condemning emotion. Resentment keeps us stuck. As long as we resent the past, that means we're stuck with the past. We can't give it up. We're still trying to fix it. Resentment is really, it condemns us. It's a heavy emotion to carry, resentment, and emotions that go with it. Anger, frustration, betrayal, bitterness, hatred, all stem from what I'm calling resentment here. And to forgive, we simply need to let go of condemning judgment. We're either condemning ourselves for what happened here. We say, man, I messed up. How could I have done this? And we really come to have self-loathing, to resent ourselves, to belittle ourselves, to be depressed about ourselves. And this does lead to depression. It can definitely lead to depression. Or towards another person. We resent them. How could they have done that to me? I cannot believe that. If only, we have a lot of if onlys. If only they hadn't done that, then I would be over here by now. Darn it. No, this can't be. Why? No, they did that to me, and now I'm over here, and my life's never going to be okay. I'm never going to be happy now because they did this, and I'm here, and I'm here, whichever spot you want to pick. I'm here, and I should be over here, and And so we have resentment, frustration, anger, hatred, bitterness, and that's all very understandable. I have experienced this. I'm speaking from some of my own experience, and I've had some significant resentments I've had to let go of. But as we forgive, we're simply saying, okay, I'm not going to condemn either ourselves or that other person for what happened here that looks really bad, looks like it wasn't right. And it might not have been right. I don't know. But we're still going to let go of being the judge and adding condemnation to it. Why things happen. Why does a person do what they do? You know, most people don't set out with the intention of, I'm going to go ruin that person's day. I'm going to go ruin that person's life. There are some people, I don't know, maybe there's people that do that, but most people don't. And even if a person does have that intention, why do they have that intention? Why do people do what they do? We can't really be their judge. We don't know why another person is the way that they are. I heard a story many years ago from he was popular back when I was a young man, a guy named Zig Ziglar. And I heard him do a live presentation once, very entertaining and motivational speaker. And he shared a story that I've never forgot. I don't remember anything else he said, but this one story, and I'll share you this story. The story is titled, Who Kicked Your Cat? And the story goes that a man, could be anybody, we're just gonna say a man walks out his front door, he's gonna go to work in the morning. He happens to own a cat. Cats are wanderers, right? They don't respect property lines. And his cat, for whatever reason, is sitting on his neighbor's front porch. It's like, and he notices his cat over there. It's like, oh, my cat's over there. About that time, the neighbor comes out the front door, and he sees a cat on his porch. It's not his own. Looks over there and says, hey, keep your cat off my porch. And he kicks the cat, punts the cat out into the yard. Rawr! And the guy who owns the cat is like, hey, don't kick my cat. He says, well, keep your cat off my porch. He's like, what a jerk, he kicked my cat. Who does that? So now this guy is upset that a neighbor kicked his cat, okay? Not a polite thing to do. Well, so now he's driving to work and he's grumpy, he's upset, he's irritated at the traffic and stuff, okay? And let's say he gets to work and there's a secretary that greets him. And she says, "Good morning, Mr. Brown." He says, "Oh yeah, what's so good about it? Hey, where's that report I asked for yesterday? I want that on my desk now. That should have been on my desk yesterday. I need it now." And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Brown. I'll get it right now. Now in this scenario, this secretary might think that Mr. Brown, we're calling him Mr. Brown is upset with her. Is he upset with her? No. Whatever the scenario of this report that should have been on the desk, I don't know, but that's not really what he's upset about. He's upset because somebody kicked his cat. And now she happens to be in the line of fire, so to speak. She's the next person to cross his path, and he finds something to be upset at her about. Whether he was upset about it the day before, I don't know. But he's definitely upset about that report now because somebody kicked his cat. And so the secretary might say, "Wow, Mr. Brown really got after me here," or "I messed up, I didn't have the report," and this might alter the course of her day. She might have a terrible day now. She might be all edgy all day. Who knows what her response is going to be? Maybe she snaps at somebody else because Mr. Brown snapped at her. Who knows? Why did Mr. Brown do this to her? Because somebody else did something to him. And we never know when somebody is upset. What is their pain? Why are they upset? Why are they hurting? Why did the guy kick the cat? Who knows? What happened? I mean, if you come out your front door and kick somebody's cat, you're not in a good space, okay? Maybe his wife got mad at him for leaving his socks on the floor. I don't know. Something happened to him. Somebody kicked his cat, so he kicked his neighbor's cat, and then he kicked the secretary's cat, metaphorically. You see what I'm saying there? And it just happens. And we look back with resentment at the person that kicked our cat. How dare they do that to me? I cannot believe they did that to me. And they ruined my life because of that. Now I'm never going to be happy because this led to this, that led to this. And we're upset again. So we have to look back and say, okay, this is where I am on the map, and this is what happened. And let go of judgment. Let go of condemnation. Turn that over to God. Leave it alone. You can't fix yesterday's weather. It happened. Shouldn't have happened that way, apparently, but it happened. Acceptance of what is brings peace. And as you simply accept, okay, it happened, and not only did it happen, but it isn't something to define us. All too often, we think something negative that happened says some deep truth about us. Like that secretary might be thinking, "Man, I'm a lousy secretary. Man, how come I can never do anything right? What's wrong with me?" And the secretary might allow this to add to what I call a false identity of inferiority or not good enough or something like that, because Mr. Brown got upset with her because somebody kicked his cat. So these things happen, but don't let them define you. This doesn't mean you're not good enough. This doesn't mean you can't succeed. This doesn't mean you're not allowed to be happy. You can have a wonderful, joyful life. Even though unfair things happen to you, unfair things happen to other people, painful things happen, deeply painful things happen. And I don't want to go into it, but on our planet, there are some really disturbing things that happen. Okay, I've heard some horrific stories that I just can't imagine. These things happen, but as we simply accept it happened, the other person behaved in a way they behaved for whatever their reason is. There's a phrase that says it's hurting people that hurt people. So if somebody does something hurtful to you, it's guaranteed they were carrying some hurt of their own. And we may or may not know anything about it, but one thing for sure is we don't know what it's like to be them. So as we let go of being their judge and condemning them, and rather than condemning them, praying for them, having compassion for them. Gosh, I wonder what their problem was. I wonder what happened to rather than being upset that the neighbor kicked the cat, he could have said, "Wow, Bob's having a rough morning. I wonder what happened. Bob, are you okay?" Rather than yelling at him because he did something not nice. "Bob, are you okay? What's going on, buddy?" We can return unfairness with compassion, with love, with kindness, consideration, because everybody's hurting. Everybody's got something that's leading them to be unhappy and treat you in a way that nudges you in a wrong direction. And you can return anger for anger, or you can stay in control of your response and reply with loving compassion. So, to accept where we are on the map, it's important that we forgive ourselves or others for whatever happened back here that altered our course of direction. And as we accept that we're still a good person, they're still a good person, whatever their behavior was, whatever their track record looks like, within each person is a divine soul. And each person is trying to figure it out. Whether they know how or not, or whatever their experience is, we can love them and have compassion for them. And then we can heal, let go of this. This no longer is a ball and chain to us. We can be at peace here and say, okay, given that this is where I'm at, good or bad, right or wrong, painful or not, whatever it is, okay, now what's the best way to move forward? Now how do I move forward in life to a better scenario? So I hope this has been helpful for you. Again, as you consider your own life and accepting where you are on the map, forgiveness is a key piece of the puzzle. Thank you.